بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. My dear brothers and respected sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I wanted to congratulate all of you with these blessed days of Dhul-Hijjah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our good deeds. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us inshaAllah the ability to go to perform Hajj inshaAllah in years to come. Allahumma ameen. Speaking about the unity of the Hajj, as the Hajj basically represents the unity of the Ummah in the best way ever. I wanted to take you in a journey with the Quran reflects, starting with Surah Al-Anbiya, the surah that came before Surah Al-Hajj, and also to the surah after Surah Al-Hajj, Surah Al-Mu'minun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the messengers, the prophets and the messengers basically to deliver a message of oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at-Tawheed. And Surah Al-Anbiya was titled Prophets for a reason, to let us focus more about the purpose of these prophets and messengers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent. In this surah, amazingly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the term of ummah, which means nation or community, one time in Surah Al-Anbiya, where He said, إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. Indeed, your nation is one, and I'm your Lord, so worship me. This is basically the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started it in this way. After Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah Al-Hajj comes. And Surah Al-Hajj amazingly started talking, Ya ayyuhan nas. This is the first call at the beginning of Surah Al-Hajj, calling the human beings, calling the mankind. And ends with different calling to the believers. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu rka'u wasjudu. To tell you that the value of Al-Hajj, the message of Al-Hajj, is not only about the pillar that being maintained or being performed at that specific time, at that specific place. It is way bigger than that. So it is the message that should come to every single human being. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started Surah Al-Hajj by saying Ya ayyuhan nas, and ended all the way by Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, to be specified and specialized only for the believers. Amazingly, in Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the term of ummah twice. So in Surah Al-Anbiya once, in Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the term of ummah, the nation, twice in Surah Al-Hajj. And I would say right here, Al-Hajj basically as a pillar summarizes the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the prophets, Al-Anbiya, came with. Because no one would be able to perform Hajj except if they are already said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, performing their salah, performing their siyam, performing their zakat. Then the Hajj would be at the end, after fulfilling the full pillars or the whole pillars of Islam, then the Hajj would come for those who are capable and able physically, financially. So 2 times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the term of the ummah in Surah Al-Hajj. After Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Mu'minun mentioned the term of ummah 3 times in Surah Al-Mu'minun. Amazingly, look, in Surah Al-Anbiya once, in Surah Al-Hajj twice, in Surah Al-Mu'minun 3 times. Not just that, the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeated the same ayah that He mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya, exactly the same, except with 2 differences. The first difference is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the ayah in Surah Al-Mu'minun by saying wa inna hadhihi ummatukum, which is and your nation is one. Wa ana rabbukum fattaqun. And when He mentioned that I'm your Lord, so worship me, He mentioned at the beginning, or basically in Surah Al-Anbiya, the first surah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the ayah, fa'budun, worship me. In Surah Al-Mu'minun He said, wa ana rabbukum fattaqun, I'm your Lord, so be mindful to me. And this is basically the purpose of all good deeds, all the pillars that we try to perform in our life, siyam, zakah, salah, everything towards the taqwa, towards fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being pious towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be mindful to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this cannot be represented and cannot be basically maintained, I would say, or performed the same way that it is in the Hajj. Bottom line, we are one nation and our Lord is one, and Hajj reminds us with all these lessons, with all these reflects, just to open your eye, to awaken, to look at yourself and at your ummah, and to feel proud of being part of this ummah, being a Muslim. Those people who are being gathered in one place at the same time, they reminding everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims, that we are powerful, that we are strong. By what? by following the footsteps of the prophets, by trying to maintain the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down, being represented by the Hajj. That's why Surah Al-Hajj ended by saying, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu rka'u wasjudu wa'budu rabbakum waf'alu al-khayr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to pray and to do goodness. At the same time, ended by very unique ayah, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ هُوَ مَوْلَاكُمْ. Make sure that you hold firmly on the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is your Lord. نِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. He is the best partner for you. He is the best partner for you. He is the best mawla for you subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure that you come back to the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and hold firm and the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get the victory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala against the shaitan, against our enemies, and to make sure that we preserve our deen, our values. Hajj reminds us with all these matters. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from the pilgrims, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshaAllah to give the victory to our ummah. Allahumma ameen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.